Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what lessons about. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Lee Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise. And of course, we want to give you all a huge thank you for supporting our Indiegogo. We have hit over 200 Indiegogo supporters, which means that there's 2 song previews up on our Indiegogo, and we've raised $22,000. So thank you all so much for that.
We also have a couple of announcements that you probably saw went up at the very end of last week. The first one you may have seen, we did decide to extend the campaign. First of all, just because, we're still a little short of our goal, and we really would like to be able to make our budget so that we can pay everybody who's working on this project. And because we have some exciting new casting announcements that we shared last week, and we want to make sure all of you know about them. We were so excited to announce our Esme casting, who is going to be played by none other than the one, the only Jessica Darrow. That's right, Luisa Madrigal herself.
We are so excited to be working with Jess. As you all know, she was an absolute delight when we had her on the podcast, and we cannot wait to be working with her. Also, this next 30 days gives you a little bit of extra opportunity to tell all your friends, hey, look, support this show that Jessica freaking Darrow is in. And just as a reminder of that link, you can do that at bit.ly/support Journey to the Heart. I also want to tell all of you, any of you who have been supporting Journey to the Heart, who have supported the Flame since the beginning. As you know, we are still trying to get the Flame to the stage, and something really exciting happened last week. I was personally working with the Play Incubation Collective in East Hampton, Massachusetts, which is actually the lesbian capital of the world. I have to give a shout out to Rachel and Sarah, who were the organizers. They pulled together an entire cast, and we put together the scene from the Juicy Crab. And it was just like, I wish that you were there, Lee, because it was such a beautiful moment to get to see something actually live on stage from the Flame. And it just made me really excited for when we're going to put together the entire thing in September. I'm only sad about this because it's only this small part. Like, I wish it was more. So I'm very excited to at least have that first step. And I want to say a thank you to everyone who supported us, because that helped us get to even that first step.
We have a couple things we want to talk about this week, starting with some of you may have seen an announcement on Instagram that I'm going to say the lesbian world has been shooketh.
Waiting for.
Also waiting for. Also shooketh, which is that some of your faves and ours, the creators of the Gay Women's Channel, you may remember them from an episode way back in season 2. Sarah and Adriana announced their engagement to each other. I don't even have words.
After years of pretending they weren't together, which is
Yes.
what is honestly so comical. Like,
what a long con.
like 16 years. It says they've been together for 16 years and now they're
Insane.
engaged.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
We're so happy for the two of them. Bravo. Congrats. And just incredible.
I'm so happy for them. Also, I'd just like to say, like, I feel like it's totally valid. Like, they were like, all right, we made this channel and we don't want our private life dissected by the internet. So like, honestly, all power to them for keeping that entire relationship. Like, we're not together
And
for however long
if
they
that's the
did.
case, RIP to them this week.
Oh, yeah. Welcome. No, people have been dissecting them as like, are they together or are they not forever anyways? So whatever. Also in the Greater Les universe, want to talk about a few different TV shows and movies that have come out lately because there's been a lot of really fun gay shows. So things that we are excited about because they're not depressing. So Netflix Heartstopper has been a new one that people have been really raving about. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited to watch it. And Hulu's Crush just came out this week, which we've been talking about for a while. Kristen King, who wrote it, is a good friend of Amanda Hollins, who you all know from Girlship TV. And Amanda has been telling us nothing but great things about this film, so we cannot wait to watch it.
So make sure you check it out. I think it just came out. Well, I think it's actually tonight as we're recording this, which means it's been out for, a handful of days by the time you're listening to this.
Well, looks like I'm watching something after this.
Yeah, right. I know. I know what I'm doing tonight. So there you go. Check it out, gays. Lots of fun stuff. That's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee, and welcome to our 83rd installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, you know what's coming, Ellie.
Rebel girl, rebel girl, rebel girl, you are the queen of my world.
Yes. I honestly was screaming that earlier. I was really feeling it. Damn.
I knew you were just waiting for it.
Rebel girl. Oh.
It's so good.
Gets me so good.
It pumps you up.
It really does. It really does. So I'm so excited to talk about our movie for today, which is Moxie. So excited. Do you want to give us our IMDb synopsis, Lee?
You know I would love to do nothing more than to read our IMDb synopsis for Moxie, which is as follows. Inspired by her mom's rebellious past and a confident new friend, a shy 16-year-old publishes an anonymous zine calling out sexism at her school.
Good. Honestly, good synopsis, but I think we can make it gayer.
Okay, let's do it.
As we always do. All right, I'll start. Okay, here's mine. Inspired by her lesbian mom's past in the lesbian riot girl scene and her new big old lesbian friend, a closeted lesbian dives into gay zine culture and loses her longtime girlfriend in the process.
Accurate.
That's what
sure.
I saw.
Mine is pretty similar. I went a little less Vivian focused and more general. So I think my gay synopsis would be a budding GSA at a very shitty high school has a lot of girls confused about who they're into and who they're all dating and how everyone is pairing up in this, coming of age tale.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of lesbian confusion
there's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
We've been talking a lot about high school lesbian dramas lately. So
we're on a roll.
We really are on a roll, but I'm just going to say, I feel so this is a new movie, right? When did it come out? 2020, maybe?
This
I could look at the IMDb synopsis, but
it was recent, right?
2021. Okay, yeah, so it's pretty recent. And I feel as movies get newer and newer, we're getting closer to people writing gay shit. But we're just so not there. So it's they just keep getting gayer. But they just won't fully go there, right? It's you see it and you're you wrote an even gayer thing than something from the 80s. Because you understand that people can be gay now, but you're not gay enough still.
No, they're not gay enough. And it's also just there's this thing that I don't understand. I mean, listen, I do understand it. The answer is we see everything through the gay lens of having
of course,
gay teens or closeted gay teens. Yeah. Sure, fine. Yes, I understand the reality of what's happening, but let me just pretend that I don't for a minute. Do people just vastly misunderstand teenagers, especially teenage girls?
Yes.
What is that? Because I just feel every movie that I watch, I'm I'm not sure you're writing the movie you think you're writing, because that kid's gay.
I also feel so this whole film, right, is about feminism, right?
Yes.
And I know there's a stereotype, like, you don't have to be gay to be a feminist. But however,
But shouldn't you be?
like, and there
shouldn't
is,
you just go all the way?
well, there is a whole, like, sect of feminism that basically says, like, you can't be a feminist, like, if you are with a man. Like, and I know
which,
that's
like,
not accurate.
Obviously,
that's not accurate,
rationally,
but
we know that's insane.
yeah.
But, like,
But-
also, shouldn't you be gay, really, though?
Really,
Shouldn't
though,
everyone
really,
be gay?
though.
I think
Well,
it's the problem.
and
I think maybe the problem is me, Ellie. Maybe
Yeah.
the problem is I just deeply, deeply don't understand straight people.
Yes.
Like, to what end?
Yes,
Why?
you are correct.
For what?
I do want to talk about, like, this was in 2020, but I do want to talk about some of the historical context of what they're talking about in the film, because it's very heavily based on Riot Girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very heavily based on zines, on, like, DIY culture. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, because that as a genre, or, like, is gay. I'm just going to pull up the Wikipedia on Riot Girl. I mean, I'm
Okay.
sure a lot of people
Do it.
listening
Start us there.
understand Riot Girl. But for context, Riot Girl is an underground feminist punk movement that began in the early 1990s and has expanded to at least 28 other countries. Combines feminism, punk music, and politics. Right? Okay, and there's a lot of actually interesting stuff they talk about here, like through Amy Poehler, that, like, they sort of try to address, but don't fully address to the extent they could. Like, there's a whole conversation where Amy Poehler is talking to her daughter, like, we weren't intersectional enough and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And it's like, that's a very valid critique of Riot Girl. It was very much like a white feminist centered movement, but it also, like, very much centered around gay shit. Like, let's even talk about Bikini Kill,
Mm-hmm.
Rebel Girl. The song that is very prevalent in this, right, is about a lesbian relationship.
Yes, and not only look. Here's the thing: as someone who has, like, I mean, I've heard it, but I'll be upfront and say, like, Riot Girl's scene has, like, never been my thing, right? Like, not like I don't like it. I'm just like, it's not like a thing that I ever super, like, got really into. So, like, I've heard a lot of the songs. I'd never really paid that much attention to it, and when I was watching this movie and, like, listening to the lyrics, like, obviously through the should have been gay lens that we watch all of these films with, and I immediately went and Googled the lyrics, and I was like, this song is fucking hilarious.
Yes.
It's not just that it's such a gay song, it's like, this is, like, should have been gay captured as a song.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well,
Like, the lyrics of
it's
it
supposed
are
to be a lesbian
so
song.
yes, they're so perfect though.
Yeah.
For, like, all of the shit that we make fun of all the time.
Oh, yeah. You want
right?
to? Do we want to read some of the lyrics?
Oh, you know I do.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You know I do. Okay, I want to start with, because the chorus of the song, right? Like, the part that they repeat a lot that we were singing at the top of the episode. So, Rebel Girl, you are the queen of my world. Rebel Girl, I think I want to take you home. I want to try on your clothes.
Yep. I think I want to
okay.
be her best friend, quote unquote.
I think,
right?
yes, everything is about, I want to be your best friend. I want to try on your clothes. And then they get to this section where it's like, when she talks, I hear the revolution. In her hips, there's revolution. When she walks, the revolution's coming. In her kiss, I taste the revolution. And it's like, here's why I love this song, because this song is literally just being like, we're gal pals, ha 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 ha.
Yep.
But, like, we're fucking, but, like, we're best friends. And I'm like, I kind of love it so fucking
yeah.
much. I can't even stand it.
It's so good. And then I'm sure you love this part, Lee. And this part actually was playing in the film.
Yes.
So if you we're looking at the subtitles, they literally
Yes,
say this.
It's in there.
They say she's a dyke, but I know she is my best friend. Yeah.
Yes. I also love that this song features so prominently in a movie where we are going to dissect the relationship that Vivian and Claudia have
Yep.
with each other. Ladies.
Yes.
She is your best friend. You're so right, Claudia. Yeah. You girls are such good best friends. You should take each other home and try on each other's clothes. That's all I'm
Yes,
saying.
please. But that's why I want to talk about it on like a lesbian lens, where it's like some forms of feminism do not center around lesbianism, but Riot Girl feminism centers around lesbianism. Like there even
Yeah.
was an article that I read because I was like, I need to dive more into this Riot Girl stuff because we'll talk about it a little bit. But there's an article with the lead singer of Bikini Kill. She's married to a man, and she's like, people in the Riot Girl movement hate me for it. Like and that's like also, you know, we could talk about the complications of that, but like
the problematic nature of that response, sure.
But that is like very much what that movement was about, was feminism, was fuck the patriarchy, to the point where like, do not sleep with a man, do not get married to a man, because you are contributing to the patriarchy, you are contributing to the heteronormative society. Like, it was very much like, fuck heteronormativity. Like, that was Riot Girl.
Let's be best friends.
Yeah.
And
also sleep together.
Yeah.
Sure. So I just want to make that clear, like, at the beginning, that like feminism can include women of all sexualities. Riot Girl specifically is so gay.
It's so gay.
So gay.
I really think, here's the thing. I know Claudia took a little bit to warm up to Moxie and like, you know, had to work up to like taking one for the team and whatever. I really feel like if Vivian had just played her the song first, like I feel like something in Claudia would have been awakened, and she would have been like, oh my God, yes, I definitely want to do this with you, Vivian. I've been waiting for so long. I thought you'd never ask.
Yes, you're correct. Also, I'm so sorry. I was so diving in on Riot Girl, we didn't get to what was our experience with.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's take a step back.
But I just really felt like that context was important. So I actually watched Moxie pretty soon after it came out. I watched it with my mom because we were like, let's watch a feminist film together. And you know what's actually hilarious? My mom was like, Rebel Girl comes on and she's like, they don't sound very good. I was like, Mom, Riot Girl's not about like singing well. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? She's like, I thought the vocals would be different. I'm like, Mom, they're screaming in a good way. Like it's about the emotion. Like I'm arguing with her about like the fundamentals of like Riot Girl music. But we did both very much enjoy it together. I watched it again today to prep. There's moments of it where I tear up. And also like it just resonates with me because I'm like, the Riot Girl movement was in the 90s. This film is made in 2021. Mm-hmm. So let's do the math on that. 30 years later.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like the point of this film, at least for me, is that like things haven't really changed, which is like such a dagger. Like that, the whole conversation, or I call it a conversation, but when Vivian is yelling at her boyfriend and the other guy, and she's like, it's gonna take us 300 years to get to gender equality in this country, like, do you even understand? And she's so pissed off. I'm like, damn, I get Vivian. So I have just like mixed emotions watching this, which I think is the point of like, yes, girl power, but also like, damn, that like this movie isn't enough. Like just the point that like Moxie as itself isn't enough. Do you know what I mean?
And I do. And I think that there are some ways in which it's like, because it's hard. Like we do this all the time where it's like there obviously are things that have changed, right? Like there have been.
Yes.
There has been progress over the last 30 years, of course. But what I think it puts into contrast is all of the things that haven't really gotten there yet. And I also think it puts into contrast the fact that like there is still a place for that smaller, grassrootsy, like kind of movement that they do in this movie. Like I love it, you know?
Yeah.
Does it feel sort of like out of the time to imagine, like, I would love to see teenagers, like, I'd like to believe that there are teenagers out there, like, making zines in their school. I'm like, how fucking cool would that be, right?
Honestly,
I want it so badly.
I bet there are, like, legitimately. Because, like, I
hope
feel
so.
like there's,
if
like,
you haven't started a zine, go start a zine, everyone. That's what we're saying. We know we have some younger listeners. Like,
no, literally last night, I mean, I don't know how young they were, but, like, I was playing at a gig. It's actually PAX East in Boston. And so there were this girl came up to me and she looked very Riot Girl. Let's just say that. Like I was like, this is a punk girl, right? she came up to me and she was like, I'm from Philly. Like, I'm in the DIY scene there. I do more of the art and whatever. Like, so I was like, this girl makes a zine.
Yeah.
Like, people are doing it. My point is, like, it is happening. It is happening.
I want it to.
Yeah.
I guess what I'll say for my experience with Moxie is I remember when it came out. I never watched it then. I watched it last night. I super enjoyed it. I do have many, many feelings about how gay this movie should have been because once again, look, it would be a better movie. It's not my fault if every movie would be better if it was gay.
I just do feel like it's a missed opportunity. It really is a missed opportunity because I do love the movie and we can talk like they have a little bit of gay shit, but not enough. But I feel like if you're going to write a movie about riot girl fucking feminism, like give us some more intentional main character.
Well,
gays.
okay, should we
Let's talk about
throw
it.
this out right at the beginning just because we will then never talk about it ever again? Okay, so so as Ellie pointed out to me, so I watched this last night. I was also like taking notes and we were like, looking up like people who were in the movie or whatever. And so I missed, we would be remiss to not mention that there is a brief fleeting moment of gay in this movie between Lucy and Amaya that I didn't even notice. Ellie mentioned it before we started recording today. I missed it. I was Googling the Linda Lindas and I glanced away for the brief second it took and I missed it. So I didn't even know that was in the movie, but I guess there was that if people are going to like come after us and be like, the movie was gay. No, it wasn't.
It was not. Well, and
no, it fucking wasn't.
And
who are you kidding?
The dramatic point of that is that I'm like, oh yeah, Lucy and Amaya kissed. And you're like, when? Like,
when?
Where?
What?
If you can look at your phone for a minute and not see the lesbian section of the film, it's not long enough and it's not gay
relevant
enough.
Well, and it doesn't. It's not relevant. It's not important to the story. It didn't change anything. It didn't affect anything. No, it feels like thrown in as an afterthought to try to be like, and we're woke.
We have
with
lesbians
representation.
here.
No,
Yeah.
Fuck you guys. That doesn't count. No. Make it real. Make it count. Make it meaningful. This wasn't it. So I guess that happened. We will now be proceeding as though it didn't matter at all because both of those things are true.
Because it didn't.
It didn't matter.
It didn't. But yeah, so let's dive in.
With that being said, let's talk about why this movie should have been gay and who should have been gay in it.
I mean, we should just start from the top. Like, I wonder though, okay, so here's my thing. Vivian and Claudia.
Yes.
I believe Claudia is gayer than Vivian. Gayer is the wrong word, but I believe Claudia has more intense feelings for Vivian than Vivian has for Claudia.
Yes.
I still think they're both in love with each other. There's just like, Claudia has very intense feelings. So I'm like, I don't know if we should start with Claudia.
Claudia's going to get to Berkeley and have some awakenings.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we should start with Claudia.
Claudia's going to have a good old time in college is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Because to me,
you want to start with Claudia? We can start with Claudia.
I know Vivian's the main character, but Claudia...
so happy to dig into Claudia first.
Has so much.
Listen, Claudia... Okay, you know how we just talked about the age of 17 and we were like, oh my god, Nadine, like, be a little more in love with your best friend, would you?
And then
Claudia,
you're like, oh, Claudia's
honey,
even more than
sweetie. Oh, listen.
It is
Claudia.
Tough.
It's so rough.
Yeah.
Because, and here's the other thing about it too, is like, from the very moment she opens her mouth in this movie, what's the first conversation that they have? Do you remember?
Them talking about the list?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
And what is everything that Claudia is focused... I mean, like, listen, I understand. It is a list that, like, ranks all the girls based on, like, highly misogynistic things. But, like, Claudia is invested. Claudia's like, yeah, who is going to be most bangable? Who does have the best rack? Definitely that girl over there. Like,
no,
dude.
It is like, I was like, Claudia, you are objectifying these women.
Yes.
Just as much as the men. Like, Vivian's like, I don't, we don't have to, like, and Claudia's like, no. But I saw her ass, and it's a good ass. And I really like that rack over there. Like, she is looking at these women's bodies and objectifying them. Not okay. But
obsessed.
From a gay perspective, like, she is very, very invested in the list. She really wants
And
to know
it's
who's
not
going to be
it's
on
not
it.
that like it's not just that she is invested in how the men are going to rank them. Like she's
ranking
feel
them
like
herself.
she's
Yes.
ranking them herself every time she talks about it. It's like her personal
perspective. Yeah.
it's a little much.
Yes.
It's a little much. So that's like right out the gate. Claudia's just like, let's talk about who does have the best rack in this school.
Let's
Have you
talk
been
about
checking them
women's
out? Because I've been
bodies.
looking and I made my own list.
Yeah.
And I've been moving people up and down and like, I really feel like last week I was kind of this way. I'm like, dude, Claudia, like get it together, girl. Because listen, this is the kind of shit that happens when you're repressed, right?
Yep.
Because what you're doing is you are taking your own queerness and like filtering it through the misogynistic patriarchy lens that you see the world through, because you just haven't learned any better yet, because you gotta come out of the closet, Claudia. You gotta
She really
walk right
does.
on out of there, and then you will see how to do this better, like how to not objectify and how to look beyond the list and maybe just like realize why you're so invested in these women's bodies a little bit. That's
she
all.
cares so much. Also, but even before that, actually, I just want to talk a little bit about Vivian and Claudia's relationship, right?
Yeah.
Because the second we meet the two of them together, right, they're like, all I need is you. Like, we spent the entire summer playing Mario Kart in your basement. We didn't even leave the house. She was like, should we have gone outside? Like, what were you doing in the basement, girls?
Yeah, it's very similar vibes to like, mom's out of town, I need the house.
Yeah.
It's like, should we have gone outside, or were we having more fun locked in a basement with each other?
Exactly.
Well,
Like, they loved it.
depends on what you were doing in that basement, but I don't think you were there yet, and you
No.
could have been having a lot more fun. That's all.
And Claudia, you can tell this is like, because it gets so intense for Claudia. I feel so bad for her. Because
know.
you can tell, like, this is all she ever wants to do with her life, is be with Vivian.
What would I ever do
without you? Yep.
I guess
And-
we'll never find out.
I know this is skipping to the end, but if this was actually a freaking love story between Vivian and
Yes.
Claudia, they say that at the beginning, and then they say that at the end.
And then they
That's
say it
a
at the end.
rom-com.
Yes.
You do not have
For
the
sure.
same thing back, like, and they hug. Like, here's what we said at the beginning. We had a whole fight thing, and then at the end we come back to each other because we've always loved each other all along. Like, it's so fucking gay.
Well, and Claudia's whole journey in this, right, is like Jesus, I'm sorry. I will never get over the one line where she's like, I thought my thing was you. Because that sums up Claudia's character in this movie just with a neat little bow on top. That is her thing. Her thing is Vivian. And like, Claudia, I wish you could see, sweetie, I wish you could see how seriously you mean that. And like, you just don't yet. But you're so close. You're like right on the cusp of getting it. But your thing is Vivian. That is it. That is the only thing she cares about. She's like, all I want is to spend all of my time with you, and now you want to spend it with other people, and I'm confused and hurt by that, and I don't understand why, and I don't ever want to be away from you, and I want us to spend our whole lives together, and the only thing I care about is you, and I don't even want to sit far away from you in class, and I don't, and I know I've been best friends with you since we were 4. You think you can hide something like this from me? Like, I know your secret and I'm not even telling you yet. And I'm just like, the layers here.
The layers of Claudia are so intense. And that's why I feel so bad for her, because
I feel
there's,
so bad.
like, the whole beginning of the movie, their relationship, like, really, like, even like there's this moment where Claudia's sitting in the VFW where she volunteers to work with all of the old folks, right? And they're texting each other.
Oh my God.
And Claudia's face, like, if I was Claudia's friend, right, and I saw her texting, I'd be like, oh, who you texting?
Who's the boy?
Who you
Like, I was
flirting with?
waiting. I was
For the
waiting
old
for one
people
of the,
to be like,
yes.
yeah.
I wanted one of the mahjong ladies to be like, oh, who's got that smile on your face? And have her be like, my best friend Vivian. Like,
Yeah.
sweetie.
Like, they're flirt texting. Like, they
Yes.
are in love with each other.
Wait, what does she text her? She because Vivian's trying to write her essay, right? And she texts her, what do I care about? And Claudia's suggestion is your best friend Claudia. And I was like,
I know.
listen, this is like the kind of cringe shit that you're like, You look back on you in high school before you like quite understood your feelings towards some of your friends, and you were like, that's the kind of like fishing, just like throwing a line out there, like fishing for validation, fishing for that hit of like, they care about me, that you would get when like, and then she gets so hurt when Vivian doesn't respond like normal, right?
Yep.
It's man, it is rough. Watching Claudia's journey in this movie was so rough to watch.
So rough. And let's just talk about Claudia in general, like in the terms of Moxie as well. It is actually really interesting we are doing this right after Edge of 17. Because this is closer to what I would want Edge of 17 to be. The conversations between Vivian and Claudia, you get like a little bit of a friend breakup, you get some awkwardness, you get the moment where she's like, I'm sorry. Like it's a fully fledged storyline, right? Like you get from beginning to end with Vivian and Claudia and the ebbs and flows of like how they deal with their relationship when it's changing. And I think that's the big thing too, right? Like once Vivian starts Moxie, Claudia like doesn't understand how to handle it because she's like, this is my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And now, instead of having a sleepover with me, which she was so excited about, right? She was like, come sleep over. And then she canceled on the sleepover. Vivian canceled on the sleepover to make her zine. So fucking gay. And Claudia's so upset that she didn't get to have a sleepover with her girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right? And who is she most jealous of? The new lesbian in town.
The new lesbian. She's jealous of a lot of people in this movie. Listen,
she's jealous of literally
Lucy.
every... Yeah.
She's jealous of Seth. She's just got a lot of feelings that she's trying to work through.
She is jealous of every single friend.
This is why I feel like I think Vivian should have played her the song. I feel like Rebel Girl could really help Claudia, because I just feel like Claudia would hear the song and be like, oh, she's my best friend. Oh yeah, I'm into it. Oh, Rebel Girl, you are the queen of my world. My thing is you. Yeah, Vivian, I'm here for it. Your kiss tastes like revolution. What does this mean? And then her brain is just going to be spinning 1,000,000 miles an hour trying to think through. She's like, why do I feel all warm all of a sudden? What's happening?
Yeah,
I think it would have helped.
I think it totally would have helped. I mean, they did dance to it at the VFW. Like, she does hear it, and I will say, like, at that point is after they've made up, right?
Yeah.
Because I think the point, too, is, like, Claudia is, like, so in love with Vivian that, like, she's hurt that she has new friends. And she's also, the tank top scene hurt my heart.
I had such a hard time with that scene because I just wanted to be like, put a fucking sweater on. What is wrong with you? Come on, Claudia, be better at this. But she was trying so hard. And so here's the thing. I cannot help but watch Claudia and be like, this little gaby who's just trying her best. And I'm like, you just know that somewhere in the back of her mind, she was like, is Vivian going to think I look cute in this top?
I know.
Like, is she going to think I'm cute?
Is she going to compliment me on my outfit?
It crushed me. And it's the other thing where I'm like, listen, you had such an opportunity here, because again, they do that whole thing where it's like Vivian does the same mistake that her mom did, where she's like, my movement wasn't intersectional enough. I done fucked up because I'm a 17-year-old white girl. And like, of course, but they have that conversation in like that Romeo and Juliet scene through the window where I was just like, so much opportunity, so wasted. So they have that scene where Claudia's like, you don't get it because you're white. And she's like, you don't understand like what a big deal this is for my family, for my mother, the sacrifices that she's made for me to go to college and stuff like that. And I'm like, I was like begging for it to be like, you don't understand why I can't come out now. Like, you don't understand why I have to wait until I am out of the house and in college to like be my true self. And I'm like, but I see it, Claudia. I understand. I see you.
It was like literally she had to cover her identity up with a sweatshirt.
Yes.
She was like, Mom, I'm going to go out like this. And her mom was like, no, you're not. That was heart-wrenching. And I just think they did.
Bad.
I love how, besides it not being gay, I love how they did the relationship between Vivian and Claudia, because you have so much. That's why I'm like, let's focus on Claudia. You have so much nuance in her character.
Yes.
For her being like not necessarily the protagonist, because like she's so conflicted about this feminism like thing, but it's not because like she doesn't care, and it's not because it won't benefit her. it's because like she has so much other shit going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, Vivian, how do you not understand that your fucking friend cares about feminism? But like, how also, Vivian, how do you not just like get out of your own ass
Yeah.
and like talk to Claudia?
Yeah, I mean, listen, should we use that as a segue to transition over to talking about Vivian a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I do want to talk about Vivian in this movie. What's funny is I want to talk about everyone else a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's sort of the point of the film, to be honest. Vivian is the anonymous person who started Moxie, and you're supposed to care the most about her, but I actually don't. I don't, but I also don't know if you're supposed to care the most about her. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do think they did a decent job of, like, she's created space for everyone else. Like, she almost is like a blank slate for other humans.
she's like a vacuum in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't
get
know, but
that.
yeah.
I get that, but I do think that, like, I don't know. I just think it's so funny that there are just so many things about her that feel very gay, and at the same time I feel like everyone else in the movie is gayer. So like, I don't know. I think the thing for me with Vivian that cracks me up is that I feel like Vivian starts out as this like, she is quiet and wallflowery and it's just me and my friend and I'm happy with this and I don't make waves and all this stuff. And then Lucy shows up and Lucy's like, I'm gonna hold my head up high, right?
Yep.
And I'm just like, oh, something just happened to Vivian. Because I'm like, girl, you are into it.
Yep.
Like, she was here for it. And she immediately, again, does this very gay move of this, like, gay high school move of being like, how do I make that girl like me?
Exactly. How do I make Lucy like me? How about I create an entire movement? I did it for you, Lucy.
I did it for you. It's the gayest shit, right? And also because she does what I think is, you tell me, Ellie, is this a relatable thing for like a closeted high school? No. I mean, yes, but no. I'm going to get to Seth. I'm going before Seth. Is this a relatable gay high school closeted move to be like, I have my best friend and we have the closest relationships and no one has ever been closer than we are and we know everything about each other. And like, who's this new girl? Now I'm into her and I want to be super close with her and I'm like blowing off my best friend in the whole world. And I'm like, sorry, I can't have a sleepover. Sorry, I'm actually not going to the game tonight. I have to do things to make Lucy like me. Anything feel relatable in there?
Oh yeah, so relatable. So relatable. Well, because that's the point, right? Is that like, if Vivian and Claudia were actually like not gay best friends, then like Vivian could have been like, oh hey, you want to hang out the three of us?
Yeah. No.
But she decides to have very intimate relationships one-on-one with each of them. Like, you can't combine it.
Gay move if I've ever seen one. Listen.
So gay. So gay.
Super gay. And there's something about the whole, like, again, I mean, I get it's not where they were going with it, but there are reasons that it just feels so relatable, I think, to anybody who kind of like, you know, went through that same sort of self-realization process. Because we've talked about this before, how it's like, you know, sometimes when you're on the cusp of coming out, like, you're not at your best.
Yeah.
You know, because secret identities bring up a lot of feeling. They bring up a lot of anger. You get frustrated with a world where you are like, it is so much work to pretend to be somebody different than who you are. And so you watch Vivian at the end of this movie, and like, it is very easy to watch Vivian at the end of this movie and be like, okay, you're just like a, you know, little white teenage girl who's like getting pissy about stuff. Like, I get it. Yes, she is coming from a place of privilege. Yes, she is like absolutely not putting a lot of her own things at stake the way that she's asking other people to. Like, absolutely. I'm not defending her actions, but I'm just saying that I think it's misreading what's happening here, because I think every queer person can relate to the sense of anger and the tired, like the exhaustion that comes with hiding.
Yeah,
it does make you tired, and it does make you frustrated, and it does make you lash out at people around you for things that aren't their fault. Because you are working through things, and because you are feeling unseen, and because you are constantly trying to like prop up this paper facade version of yourself that is plastered over the reality. And like, it doesn't make you your best is all we're saying.
And Vivian is like so not her best. Like she is horrible in that
She's
table
horrible.
scene. Like
she's
horrible.
awful.
Horrible.
And she's lashing out at everybody,
Yep.
And I just feel like that it's like I wish they had just leaned a little bit more into that, like it was right there. It's right there. It's right
and also
there.
like I understand like to bring it back to Claudia, but also Vivian. It's like if we want to talk like a little bit about Seth, it's like Vivian tells Seth this secret, but like doesn't tell her best friends. Like, what the fuck is this? But I also think it is because, okay, I actually think it'd be interesting. So if we look at Vivian with her secret identity as like a greater metaphor, right? So let's say her secret identity isn't just that she wrote Moxie, her secret identity is she's gay. She tells this boy she's gay because the stakes are so much lower. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if she tells Claudia she's gay, she knows that means they're going to have a conversation where they address their feelings.
Yep.
So she's like, okay, it's easier for me to hide this secret from my best friend and push her away than to confront my...
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife, Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed, just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/letshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/letshangout.
Let's hang out.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Feelings for her.
Also, can we discuss, listen, I want to try to say this in a way that doesn't come across as like sounding racist, because that's not what I'm trying to go for. But I do find it a little sus that she's like, I do find it a little just, there's maybe something suspicious about the fact that she picks a guy who happens to look like a decent amount like Claudia. And then she's like, wow, Seth, your hair grew out this summer. How cute.
You're right. She likes the long-haired Seth. She likes the soft boy. She likes...
I'm not saying this in the sense that it's like, oh, they're both Asian, so they're interchangeable. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's something suspicious happening there about her choice. And, you know, maybe like who she's really into at the end of the day. That's all I'm saying.
There's
I'm just
some
saying
displacement there.
If you were displacing your feelings for your best friend Claudia, I feel like Seth is a safe place for those to land when he grew his hair out over the summer. That's all. I'm just offering up an observation, okay?
And it is the same trope we see over and over. She's like, oh, let me go for the nice guy. Let me go for the easy guy. Let me go for, you know.
Jesus. The only thing is, can we talk about Seth a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
Because, yes, Seth is the easy, not pushy, like, sure. He is all of those things. Nothing is going to convince me that Seth is 100% cis in this movie. He's not. I'm sorry. I just feel like Seth's whole deal, it's too much. I cannot with the whole like, oh, a zine about like feminism, so cool. The girls are all gonna draw hearts and stars on their hands tomorrow. I'm gonna draw hearts and stars on my hands tomorrow. We're all wearing tank tops. I'm wearing a tank top too, girls. Me too. I've got a tank top. Like,
you just feel like he feels like the women are his community.
Yes. And I don't think that Seth has figured out why yet, but come on, like, it's so much. I'm like, even the most like, oh, I'm an ally, I'm a feminist. Like, every single thing that Seth does in this movie where he's like, I just really want my first time to be special and I want you to be thinking about only me. And they're making out and he like stops kissing her to be like, your hair is so awesome. And I'm like, Seth, honey, is this uncovering some things that you're trying to work through for you?
God.
Like, I like your hair so much. Like, oh, do you just want to like own me? I'm just going to be like your pretty girlfriend and like write your name on my arm. And he's like, I'll write your name on my arm. And I'm like, Seth, sweetheart, like, girl, work it through. It's okay.
My gosh.
It's okay.
I mean, he does push against gender roles pretty consistently.
Yes.
I don't know though. I also do like the idea that like they're putting out here that like you can have a male feminist. So like
I'm not against that. I just don't think he's written as a super convincing male feminist to me. He is written as a very convincing, like, maybe trans, maybe gender fluid. I don't know where Seth's gonna end up, but that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying I think there's an energy there that doesn't super read as like cis man to me.
Just because he's not an asshole is what you're saying.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It goes beyond just not being an asshole. It's not just that he's an asshole. It's that there is like a fervent desire to like associate with the femininity of this movement in him. It's not just that he wants to support it. He wants to be a part of it in ways that just don't feel completely cis to me. That's all. The one in the car, like, honestly, that's the scene that took me out. I was just like, I'm sorry, I cannot. I don't care how good of an ally and how, like, you know, you can be totally respectful of the girls in your school. You can be totally into feminism. You can be very, like, super woke, super aware, super into, like, enthusiastic consent, all this stuff. Like, okay, let's compare that scene to, you know, we just watched Astrid and Lily, to, like, Sparrow and Astrid, right? Like, I buy Sparrow as being like, I want consent. Yeah, I enthusiastically consent too. Let's fucking do this. Like, that is not the same to me as Seth being like, I just really want you to be thinking about only me. And like, wow, your hair's like amazing. I'm like, listen, my friend, I just think there's a further journey for you. That's all.
We'll see how it shakes out. I do like him as a sensitive man. Like, I don't know. But he definitely, like, he bends a lot of shit on.
Yes, he
like,
does.
He is definitely some sort of queer.
Somewhere on this. I don't know where I'm gonna place him.
Yeah.
Because again, I feel like he's, you know, the in the what makes this movie gay, he's a little bit of an afterthought for it, you know? Like, they don't even get a resolution, really. It's like the arm thing is like the last you see of him.
Yeah. And also, like, well, let's compare, like, Seth and Vivian in the last scene versus Claudia and Vivian. Claudia and Vivian have a whole thing. They literally have that whole thing where they, like, repeat the line again, right? Yeah. And then they're like, hug, we love each other. Like, your mom drove me here just so I could see you. And if Seth didn't exist, they'd probably freaking make out.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And then
100%.
she's just like, oh, I guess I'll look over at Seth and we'll smile at each other.
Well, plus, I also love that then you get into the whole, like, then we just seem to end the movie and you get into the credits sequence, which I was like, is this what's happening now? Yeah. And I also love how Vivian sort of suddenly, there's just like a very awkward cut scene where all of a sudden she's like Lily from Sex Ed, right? And she's like, look at me, I've got like my alien costume on with the rainbow butterfly wings, and and you're like, what is happening here? Like, because none of this really leads me to believe that the ending of this movie is like strongly pushing you and Seth at me. I don't.
No, not at all.
I don't get it.
Not at all.
Wait, sorry. I have one last thing to talk about. Well, actually, maybe I'll use this to segue us to Lucy, because I feel like we should talk about Lucy a little bit. My last gayest moment for Vivian. Again, we talked about this whole, I want to displace, like, I had one girlfriend that wasn't my girlfriend. Now I'm going to have another girlfriend who's not my girlfriend. They're my best friends. Is when there's the scene where she goes shopping.
Yep. The shopping
with Lucy,
scene is
and
so fucking gay.
They're doing the dancing the bachata, and like, that scene is not straight. Oh, am I doing it well, Lucy? Oh, are you touching my hips? I'm sort of into this.
Anytime I see a shopping scene between two women in a film, I'm like,
they're never straight.
This is not straight. Like, the way that they're doing it, like, they're like, let's try on clothes together. Like, let's, like, compliment each other on how great we look. Like, you're gonna look so hot tomorrow. You know who's really gonna love it? And you think she's gonna be like, me. And she's like, that random dude will love it. Not, but yeah, me too. And to be fair, like, Lucy is canonically queer, right? Like,
yes,
she kisses Amaya. We're, like, led to believe Lucy is queer, right? So, like, Lucy's queer in this. Even if Vivian is straight, she loves being friends with a queer girl. And there is something inherently gay about, like, gravitating towards, like, another queer person and wanting to really, like, be so intimate with them. right? They're like, let's take a picture and post it. Like,
Yeah.
let's share all these things. And Claudia's sitting there by herself with a tank top because she wasn't invited. It's like,
Claudia and her little tank top.
why did you
Stop
not
it.
invite Claudia to get a tank top with you, Vivian?
Stop
Because you wanted to
it.
be on a date with Lucy.
I can't.
And like
Her
Lucy's
little
whole
tank top.
I know. Lucy's whole thing in general. Let's talk about Lucy. So she
Okay.
shows up.
Lucy's like, I'm from the Bay Area. And
Yeah,
you're like,
she's from
okay.
the Bay Area.
So you're gay.
Yeah,
I get it.
so like that's it, right? She's from the Bay Area. She says like everyone in the Bay Area makes zines, meaning all your gay friends. First of all, Mitchell is the biggest asshole in the world. No shit. But like she is so like, Mitchell, do not fucking talk to me. I do feel like there's like a moment in time when you're younger, and it's the way that other people talk about Mitchell, right?
Mhm.
Where like they're like, oh, he's annoying, but like, cause I'm like fitting into this box of heteronormativity, like, just ignore him, or
Yeah.
like maybe you like be like I feel like there's a time when like I was too nice to men too, because you're just like, you're supposed to just like be nice to them and like hopefully they'll go away.
Yeah.
There's like a very actively queer energy of someone who knows they're queer, has come out, and like a man comes up to them and they're like, dude, I don't very much not even gonna pretend to be nice to you. Like, I want you to very much know, number one, you're an asshole, but like number two, like, I don't have time for your shit. I'm gay.
Yeah.
Like, it is
that. 100% like a queer, she comes at that with queer energy, just being like, I don't care who you are. I have zero interest in you, pacifying you, being of interest to you. She's like, I am not here for you, basically. No. Like, that's what it is. I am not here for you. I am not here for your consumption. I am not here for your entertainment. I'm just not here for you. And yes, that energy, that is a very gay
queer
response
energy,
to,
right? And I think too, that's why like Vivian sees that out of Lucy and is like, whoa, you can do that? You can stand up to a man like that? Like, I could be queer too? Like, there's so much that energy with Lucy. And then too, like the fact that she just like literally just takes charge of everything, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna be the figurehead of this now. Like, I didn't write it, but like, I'm gay. I know what I'm doing here. Like, I know how feminism works.
Yeah. She's like, I'm gay. I've done some protests in my day.
Yeah. Like, literally. She's so good with that, with all of it.
Well, and it's also like, listen, if we're going to talk about the missed opportunities of like storylines you could have written, like, I could 1000% picture Lucy being like, wow, who wrote this scene? Like, I'm kind of into it. That's pretty hot. Right. And then you could have had like her and Vivian getting closer. Like, Vivian is slowly working up the courage to like come out to her on both fronts. And then you have that moment where like, she like, here's what I would love. I would love to kind of have Lucy be like more vocally into the person running Moxie, and like Vivian's too afraid, but she starts getting jealous even though it's her. Right?
Nice, yeah.
And then she's kind of going through this conflicting thing where she's like, I want Lucy to be into me, but she's into the me that she doesn't know is me. And so you're like not directly receiving that energy. And then you like have this, like confrontation where she's like, I wrote Moxie, and then they like make out in the rain or something. I'm just saying I could be here for that storyline too.
I could definitely be here for that storyline. Yeah. But then, like, okay.
Why don't more people let us write movies, Ellie? We're fucking fantastic at this.
Seriously. Oh my God, it'd be so good.
Just picture her, like, throwing down a stack of the zines in the rain, and they're, like, getting soaking wet in the rain, and then she, like, rushes up to Lucy, and they're, like, making out in this, like, dramatic scene where she's like, it's been me the whole time. Anyways,
I totally see that.
Somebody write me that fanfic. Let's
please
just
write
put it out there.
Let's talk a little bit about Kiara and Amaya, because I want to talk about Lucy and Amaya a little bit.
Those girls are dating.
So yeah, Kiara and Amaya have been dating since the second we freaking saw them.
They're dating.
They show up in the bathroom together. They always, they're never separate.
No.
They're constantly together. They're both on the girls' soccer team. Like, they clearly are in love with each other.
They gay.
Like,
my girl doesn't like freaky cults. Your girl doesn't what? You gay. You're both gay. Just like.
They're so gay. Amaya's like pushing Kiera to be the nomination, right? She's like, and Kiera's so like, Amaya always does this. She makes me do these things. And she's like, no, stop, Amaya. But like, okay, yeah. Like they make each other better.
Yeah.
They get each other on a spiritual level. Like they're so fucking gay together. Like they're so gay together.
They're
They're so gay together.
gay.
And we do know, same thing, Amaya is also canonically queer as well. Because her and Lucy make out at the Riot Girl scene, right? So we do have 2 queer characters here. And I feel like
could
they're like,
throuple them.
I could throuple them, but I also just feel like it's like, you have those 2 queer characters and you're like, all right, let's throw them together because they're both queer. And the only way that there can be any queer people is if there's 2 of them and they're the only 2 when they get together.
Yeah.
I feel like Lucy is separately queer. Amaya's separately queer. Amaya and Kiera are together. Lucy's vibing with whoever she's going to vibe with. Maybe it's Vivian. Maybe it's someone else. But like, they just were like, okay, well, let's put these 2 together because they're both gay.
Yeah.
It was
You
so
know what else?
pigeonholed in.
You know what I have to say? I'm curious because I didn't super look up the writers of this movie, but I do feel like one of the things to me where I'm like, this is where you go wrong. This is why the whole Lucy and Amaya kiss thing, I'm like, okay, sure. Because you wrote characters who are like so gay, and then you like sort of made them queer, and at the same time you have shown us that you deeply do not understand queer people.
Queerness,
And,
yeah.
And here's why, is because I agree with you that I think Lucy's energy towards Mitchell is very gay. But for a character who is shown to be canonically queer in this movie, I don't buy that she would never have brought that up to him.
Oh.
I don't buy that the kind of person that Lucy is, the personality that she has, that in this scenario with a guy like Mitchell, that she would never once have done something to either be like, I'm not interested in you, I'm not interested in dudes, like I'm not even, like, you're barking up the wrong tree, like is this how you get women? Because that's not how I get women. Like something. There would have been something.
Something.
No,
to Mitchell. And if she was like, Mitchell doesn't deserve to know that shit about me, like I don't, like basically, like I don't
To
care
all
enough
the
about
other
him to even say
girls.
that to any of the girls in Moxie.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you freaking serious that she, like, they have that whole meeting too, right? Where like I feel like they try to make it intersectional, right?
Yeah.
So they have CJ, who is the trans girl who's a part of Moxie. And she's like, people don't even use my real name and blah, 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 right? And so they try to have that moment of like, trans women are included in our feminism. Like, let's talk about Black women. Okay, what are Black women dealing with, right?
Zero discussion.
Discussion of queerness.
Yeah.
Zero.
Just
right? Lucy like has, and I understand that like maybe like that's not, Lucy is far more concerned with her place as a Black woman, if we want to like talk about that, right? But I think it would be both.
It would be both. Yeah.
And like I just feel like it just
drops the ball.
Intentionally erased any meaningful mentions of Lucy's sexuality.
Well, and this is why when we're saying like, listen, I understand there is a lot more representation. Like, sure, we wouldn't have gotten that kiss in this movie 20 years ago, for sure. But does the representation mean anything? No. I mean, it just doesn't. Like, if you took that kiss out, does the movie change one, like, iota? No. Does it change anything? Does it have any impact on these characters? Like, it's not meaningful representation. It just kind of feels like it's lip service.
Yes.
Get it?
Wait, Lee.
Okay.
So there's a queer version of the Bechdel test called the Vito-Russo test, okay? To pass the Vito-Russo test, the following must be true.
Well, and here's the annoying thing. It does pass.
So, it does. Okay, so let me read it.
It does, but in the worst way.
The film contains a character that is identifiably lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer. Correct. That character must not be solely or predominantly defined by their sexual orientation or gender identity. They're comprised of the same sort of unique character traits commonly used to differentiate straight, non-transgender characters from one another. Correct. Right?
Yes.
The LGBTQ character must be tied into the plot in such a way that their removal would have a significant effect, meaning they are not there to simply provide colorful commentary, paint urban authenticity, or perhaps most commonly, set up a punchline. The character must matter. Correct.
I
feel like for our should have been gay context, I want to create a test that adds a fourth element that is, if you remove their sexuality at all, that it doesn't change the film.
Yeah.
Right? Because I do really feel like it is important that their sexuality still matters.
Yeah.
Like the character matters, but like their sexuality should be mentioned more than a kiss. If you take out any mention, if you take out any kisses, does that change the storyline? No, but I feel like it should.
Well, and the
right?
thing
Like,
is like, I want both. Like, here's the
Yes.
truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is, I do want both. I do want there to be the idea that, like, if you're, because I get it. It's a high school movie. It's fine. It's like, there's going to be stuff that you just toss in. And if you're going to toss in gay stuff, 100% I'm there with you. Yes. It makes me happy to have that happen as opposed to just like our entire lives of like heteronormativity as the underlying background blanket white noise that's always there. Fine. I'm not, it's not that I'm like, wow, that's bad. Why did they have them kiss? Like, great, have them kiss. 100%. Does it mean that I count this movie as being gay? No. This is not a gay movie. This is a movie that features two characters who like are both girls kissing each other. Sure. It's not a gay movie.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like demonstrably not. I mean, it's the gayest fucking movie, but it's not really. But it's not. I'm like, but give me both. Give me a story where like it actually does make a difference that they're gay, because this one doesn't. I'm not opposed to the extra rep as the background nothing that it is, but that's all it is. This is background nothing gay.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's I just feel like it's not that freaking hard to do, people.
No.
Like, just freaking do it. Just do it. Just like say you're gay. I know it's like you shouldn't always have to come out, but like let's not pretend that we don't tell people we're gay every fucking second.
Right.
Like, just
do
say
we
it.
want to talk about anything other than being gay? Never.
No.
Come on.
I don't know. I'm like thinking, I'm like at work, like I mentioned my girlfriend. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't know, like have Lucy have said something at the beginning when she's like, oh, my ex-girlfriend used to make zines
Right.
in the Bay Area all the time. I would be like, okay, great. We have established Lucy is gay in the first 10 minutes of the film.
Right.
Now, everything she does afterwards is a gay action.
Yep.
Right? Like literally just one kiss at like towards the end of the film means nothing to me.
Could have done it.
Means nothing. All right. There's so much shit in here, but which characters are we shipping? Because we've talked about pretty much all of them.
Listen, my heart is with Vivian and Claudia. I just really think they need to go to Berkeley and work some stuff out. That's all.
Yeah, I know. Also, like literally, Vivian was like, Claudia's like, we have to go to Berkeley together next year. And
Yeah.
Vivian's entire thing is like, how do I get into Berkeley? That's really like how
here's
it
what
started.
I want. Ellie, let's write the sequel where it's Claudia and Vivian rooming together at Berkeley, like just slowly circling ever closer to each other, because
Yeah.
you just know that they're going to be like, wow, now we're like in a room together. Wait, I have to watch you get undressed, like changed every night. Wait. wait a minute. Why does this feel different than the summer we spent in the basement? Why am I confused?
It's so
Someone write me
gay.
that story. That's what I want.
Please. Yeah. So Vivian and Claudia, what's their ship name?
Clivian?
Clivian. Yeah. Sounds very close to-
Vidya?
Yeah, it works.
Ugh.
It works. All right. Also, Lucy and Amaya, because they kissed. I'll ship
Yes.
them.
Okay.
I also want to say, like, I do feel like this film does a good job of, like, they do have, like, a lot of people of color in it comparatively.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even though, like, the protagonist is still white. Like, this is, like, two black women kissing, which also
Yes.
we very rarely see.
Which is like only part of why I wish they had given it a little bit more
Yeah, like, they should have given it more
place in this movie. but-
time. Yeah. So Lucy
I'm
and
going
Amaya.
with Lumaya.
Ooh. All right. I'll go with Amusi. And then Kiara and Amaya, because to be fair,
Listen,
they gave
they're
their
in love.
relationship way more. If
Yes.
Kiara and Amaya had kissed, it would have been like, okay, we've had a relationship. Kaya.
Kaya's cute. I could also see like Amira.
I like it.
I like it.
Oh,
too.
and then this is like a so far off
I
ship.
refuse. I can't do it. Mitchell, I don't even want to talk about him.
I don't
no.
even want to talk about it.
I
So
hate
cut
him. I hate
Just
it
cut
so much. I can't do
Mitchell sucks, and we're not talking about him. All right. So we can agree. Moxie, a film centered around riot girl culture. Should have been gay. All right, Q and gay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Q and gay.
Question number 1, Lee. Have you ever started a zine? A, yes, B, no.
I have not. I really should, though.
Me either.
Because we just need more stuff to do in our lives. So
yeah, right. Visual arts just have never been my thing. Like, if someone wanted to, like, have me write some stuff and they made it into something cool, but I can't. I'm not a very artistic person visually.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Question 2, Ellie, who's your favorite Riot Girl band out of A, Bikini Kill, B, Slater Kinney, C, La Tigre, or D, the Linda Lindas?
It's got to be Bikini Kill. I just freaking love that song. Also,
I do love the Linda Lindas, though. They're so cute.
This is a quick follow-up question, Lee. Have you ever been to a Riot Girl concert? I know we don't have this in our Q&A. You have not.
I haven't. I know, I really should.
I know it maybe is not the scene you're in right now, but I feel like you should go. I
feel like it can't be that hard for me to find in the Bay Area. There's gotta be.
You can find
right?
something.
I bet
get a sitter for the girls. Go and live that life with Kelsey.
Oh my God, Kelsey would kill me. Are you kidding me?
To go?
Yes.
I really have only been. I've been to a few. I've been to some punk house shows, which I feel like is similar. But one of my friends, Al, who's been on the podcast twice, is a front man in a punk band. But the best Riot Girl show I ever went to was Kate Nash. She's most known for the song Foundations, which is not Riot Girl at all, right? You know that song?
Yeah.
Okay. She, after that, went so hard into punk Riot Girl, and I went to go see her in New York. I felt so empowered at that show. I just feel like every woman needs to go to a Riot Girl show at some point in their lives, even if it's just one, just to be let me feel this energy of fuck the patriarchy. It was so good.
Yes.
All right, question number 3. Who is the gayest Moxie girl? A, Vivian, B, Claudia, C, Lucy, or D, Amaya?
Listen, I know that 2 of these have canonically kissed on screen, but I'm sorry, it's Claudia. The answer is B, Claudia, and I would die on this hill.
It is Claudia. No, it's for sure Claudia. She's so gay.
Okay, question 4, Ellie. Which American Girl doll was your favorite out of A, Samantha, B, Addie, C, Kit, or D, Josephina?
Okay, so it's not any of them. I had Felicity, who was the colonial one, and she had a horse, and I had her horse. So
wow, you were fancy, huh?
Felicity.
You was fancy as a kid.
And my sister had Kit, which is funny because my sister's a journalist now.
Nice. I had Samantha, and I immediately ripped off her dress and bought her. I requested from the catalog her. They had they had all the other outfits that you could get them on. No, it was a hiking one. So it was a hiking outfit, and she had I swear to God, she had a fucking rainbow tie-dye shirt and short cargo shorts and boots, hiking boots, and a backpack, and I thought it was the best fucking thing in the world because nothing was coming down the road for me.
That sounds right. All right, our final question. Question number 5. What superlative would you have won in high school? A, class clown, B, best eyes, C, class activist, or D, most likely to succeed?
Oh boy. I wouldn't have, I didn't, but probably out of this list is most likely to succeed. Let's be real. I was a nerd.
I was a nerd. I knew you were going to say that. And it's true. You have succeeded.
I have. I'm living my best gay life, Ellie.
I know. I'm going to say for me, it would have been maybe class clown. I am very silly, but I was very silly in high school, but not in this. I feel like I was still a little more shy than the boy. I feel like a boy always gets class clown, which is freaking annoying.
Here's the thing: is I feel like if you had asked my friends, I could have been a contender for class clown. But you have to think about how did the people you went to high school with see you, and the people I went to high school with saw me would have seen me as a nerd. That's it.
Ugh, rude.
But a funny, engaging nerd. Okay,
exactly. Also, class clown should get turned into wittiest too, because I feel like women are more witty, whereas a dude's just look at me, I'm doing something stupid.
I pantsed myself.
Yeah, and you're dumb. All right, listeners, we've had a blast talking about the patriarchy today. If you want to answer our Q&A questions, you can do that on our Twitter at LesHangoutPod.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 we're gay.
We love hearing from all of you. We love continuing to build this community, and we just like to shout out some of our favorite things every week. And as you know, while we're crowdfunding, we are spending every week our Hip Hip section thanking everyone who has donated to our Indiegogo for Journey to the Heart, because it means so much to us, and we would not be able to make that show without everyone's support. So we would like to say thank you this week to Anna,
Remy,
Brian,
Rachel,
Milton,
Michael,
Glenda,
Sean,
Terry,
Lisa,
Heather,
Kalina,
Joseph,
Maya,
Mike,
Sarah,
Leon,
Samantha,
Jody,
Luke,
Dur,
Kashidi,
Marissa,
Anya,
Alexis,
In Blue Bloom,
Katya,
Ruiz,
Caitlin,
Justine,
Amanda,
Christelle,
Kristen,
and Tyler. Thank you all so much. There are so many names of all of you. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate the support.
and we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, as always, Mark Foster,
Jess Klaus,
Tanya Ferguson,
Jacqueline Rosnashino,
Sarah and Julia,
Danny Gunlock Tamora,
Brittany Ray,
Alana Rosen,
Lizette Stye,
Stacy,
Adi Benitez,
Fiona W.,
Whitney Lennon,
and Jennifer Trujillo,
and our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen,
Leah Henley,
Liz Chen,
Julia Gonzalez,
and Ashley White. Thank you all so much. And to all of our patrons, we are just so grateful every week. Right now, we're just very humbled and full of love.
Remember, you can also find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
Or check out our website at letshangoutpod.com.
You can also check out our Dollar Bean Productions website at dollarbeanproductions.com.
Whatever app you use for podcasts, make sure you subscribe so you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop.
And if you haven't listened to The Flame yet, make sure that you go back and listen to all those episodes. We did not win a Webby, but it was an honor to be nominated. And we appreciate everybody who voted for us. And if you haven't listened to it yet, all the episodes are available anywhere that you listen to podcasts.
We're also posting videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/letshangoutpod to catch them.
If you want to help support the podcast, there are so many ways that you can do that. One of them is easy and free. It's to go on Apple Podcasts app, leave us a rating and a review. It helps new people find the show, and we love to read the reviews.
Or you can join our Patreon. We have a patron-only Discord for all of our patrons. We also have watch parties. We have a watch party this past weekend for Girl Trash. That was so much fun. And you can join that at bit.ly/lespatreon.
And if you want to help us continue working on getting The Flame up on stage and making all of our other shows like Journey to the Heart, you can join our Patreon just for our musicals at bit.ly/dollarbeanpatreon.
If you want to get some Let's Hang Out merch, you can do that at bit.ly/letsshop. It is the perfect time to get your Pride gear.
If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSH Foster.
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ellie Brigida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee. And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.